You are in a business, you have to make decisions. Don't always ask what to do next. You don't need to know everything. They always think they need to know everything before they can fight the war, before they can go on to the battlefield. Sorry, sales is about reading the book and fighting at the same time.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Open House, where every conversation opens a new perspective. Today, we welcome Mr. Kevin Lim, Chief Agency Officer of ERA and founder of Preeminent Group,
Thank you so
the
much.
largest real estate group in Singapore. Kevin, it's such a pleasure to have you and an honor
Thanks
to
for
have you on the podcast.
having me.
Yes.
Yes.
Right now, so let's dive right in, to the episode,
First
right?
question.
Yes, first question. Let's fire off, right? So what inspired you? I mean, you've been in the industry for about 22 years.
22, yeah.
What inspired you to get started in the business? And was it always a first career choice?
First, I want to be a pilot, but unfortunately, I didn't make the cut. Then I wanted to be an army regular, but somehow I gave up that thoughts and I just knew I didn't want to get a 8 to 5 job. I study estate management, but it is building estate management. So I thought, why not sell houses? And of course, the bottom line is I wanted to make good money.
Yes.
It's always being sold this idea. Insurance, cars, property. As long as you're in sales, it's a good opportunity. Of course, then, being in the 80s, I think not everyone will want to be a self-employed. It's something, if you are a little bit more gutsy, you will do it. But today, I see my real estate agent in the 2000s. It's their first choice after graduate, must do self-employed. So I think the dynamic shifted. But for myself, I think among my peers, I was a little bit more ambitious and a little bit more open to self-employed business. So I jumped right straight into real estate with my company, ERA. I mean, the truth is for the first 10 months, I struggle. When you join real estate, they hype you up. They tell you, when you go to the recruitment seminar, they say, circle, dot, you add together, you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then, okay, let's do it. I dive right in. SARS. This is my second pandemic as a real estate agent.
Oh my.
I got first 10 months, no sales. So it's not easy. So of course, today I think it's very helpful experience because it helps me to understand my agent's struggles. Yeah, but of course, after I struggled for about 10 months, I found my way and I think I never had a bad day since then.
Wow, wonderful. So
Yeah.
in that 10 months, maybe if you could tell us a little bit more about that 10 months, like how did you get through from day to day?
Of course, my mom supported me. I mean, I was young and broke. So my mom was like pretty against me going into this. She said, why don't you just be like the rest? Why don't you just get a job? Why this is dangerous? Who and whose children didn't make it. So and so son and daughter also tried, didn't make it. But me, maybe being a little bit rebellious, that applied on a good way. I becomes a motivation for me to prove her wrong. But of course, mom being mama, she's very against it. Behind her back, she's always worried. I spend a lot of time in the office. Why? Because once you reach home, she'll ask you, how? Got sales?
Every
then,
day.
Then you say, no sales. There, I told you. So that kind of stress to them is love. But to me at that age is, I don't need it. So I actually had spent a lot of time in the office just to, work my way. But I realized there's one thing that I didn't get it right. I was very hardworking. I was doing things according to what I was taught. But probably I didn't have that business mindset. I was having an employee mindset in the business world. I was in a $1,000 mindset in the $1 million industry. I think self-employed business, it's never about regular salary, every month in, man out. That 10 months that I didn't have any sales probably were working behind the back. Because let me ask you a question. 1 year got how many months?
12 months.
12 months. 12 months minus 10 left?
2 months.
2. That 2 months I have clocked enough commission and I was the top 3 rookie of the year.
Wow, amazing.
So that 2 months, a lot of sales actually was cooking in the first 10
10
months.
months.
But then now I look at, again, a lot of people would have given up in the 10 months. And that's why they never see the sun and never see the result. I'm a very impatient person. But ironically, I think I'm very patient with work and with success. Like if you give me something, right, I cannot fix it. I will keep doing it and doing it
Until
and
you
doing
get
it
it
until I
right.
get it. I just don't give up easily. I think that's something inbuilt in me. Yeah, you can say it's stubborn, but on the flip side, it becomes focus.
So now if I were to ask you, after so much success, right? And I think a lot of people also want to know, right? You mentioned you're patient, you're focused. Like what does it take to cultivate a winning mindset?
To me as a business person, it's very important to learn how to make decisions. I think being success, it's a decision. What I do is just a byproduct. It's not the most important.
Right. So it be it real estate or any other industry. Right. Now, what's a surprising hurdle that most people may not know that exists in the real estate industry?
Wow. People who start fresh like me, or people who came from a previous job, I think the first hurdle they have is always spending money. So they're not so willing to spend on their business. They don't believe money makes money. They only believe in hard work make money. So they put in the hard work, but they don't put in the investment to advertisements, online and offline, social media. So they just know how to do the regular hard work. So I think the second hurdle is always money. It's certain that we learn about it. So what makes you sure that you learn it correctly?
That's
and
right.
who do you learn it from? So I feel a lot of people struggle is because they don't know about money. They don't understand. They didn't learn it correctly. And then suddenly they are in this multi-million industry.
That's very interesting, to think that you tied it back to the basis of it. It's a multi-million-dollar industry.
To bluntly put it, who do we learn our money from when we were growing up?
Parents, bosses,
teachers, relatives,
the people around you, your intimate group.
Yes. Are they millionaires?
No.
Then how do they teach you to make millions?
Yes. Oh, that's a very, very good.
No offense to, because they learn from their parents and the parents learn from their parents. Then the concept about money. They think money grows on trees. Money is the root of evil. Money doesn't buy you happiness. This kind of concept. So see, these are thinking that brought down generation. And then people are stuck with that mentality.
Right. And how do you think the industry and like the concept of money, for example, has changed from then and now? Now, because we have social media and, the agents are all, they have to build this personality and branding for themselves. And maybe when you first started out, we didn't have social media, right? So how do you think the industry and the business has changed and evolved?
I think important shift is definitely technology. Right? So today, as a real estate agent, you are a salesperson. Whenever you're selling things, I think you need people. And then social media, actually, it's the biggest game changer. I think I'm one of the very first early adopter of social media in the industry. Back when Facebook first came out, I think it was like 05 or 06. Back then, posting pictures and all that, people are not very comfortable.
Yeah.
People within the industry are not very comfortable. Bosses are not very comfortable. The regulators are not very comfortable. So you becomes a very odd one out doing things that not the normal people do. So I always practice to be an early adopter. Again, this was when I realized business mindset. Only people with business mindset will want to be early adopter. Employee mindset, people always want to be critical mass.
Yes, and followers basically.
But to be an early adopter, you need to be pressed on. You need to be creative and you need to spearhead the unknown. Right. So it's a mindset that sets you doing it. Yeah.
And I think, based on what you've shared, I think in any industry today, I think regardless of being real estate or even the FAs and, things like that, social media has become like something you have to do.
It's a media.
It's a media
of getting attention.
Yes.
But most people are affected by attention because they can't handle it.
Right.
Because the stage 1 is to get attention. You will eventually go to stage 2.
Which is?
Attention will give you people criticizing you.
Yes.
Then most people will give up. And then don't worry, the people who criticize you will eventually graduate and grow up to the third level, haters. But you must press on because actually the stage 4 comes this part called admiration. I think most people who eventually admire you sometimes are once your haters.
Yes.
Just one line. So when you are authentic, when you are doing what you're doing, people resonate with you. Eventually you win them over. And they, from your criticizer and your haters, they becomes your biggest supporter. So it all comes down to the first thing called attention. So as a self-employed salesperson, your brand, your name, your representative, your culture, it's got to go out there and get people's attention.
And how do you then trickle this down, this mindset to all your agents?
So I conduct like 2 different boot camps for my agents over 3 days each. So one is called sales boot camp, one is called leadership boot camp, and it's all 3 days from early morning, like 8, 9 o'clock to like almost 11, 12 midnight.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's very much of like a experience kind of boot camp for people to change their mindset.
Right.
Yeah. It's more on the soft skill.
Soft skills. And I think that's a very important skill set in this, or in any business really, right? People skills, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, throughout your career, has there ever been a time where you felt like, I can't do this anymore?
I think never. Like,
Oh, you love your job.
no, because I accept it. It's a business. There are seasons. There are times you win. There are times you don't win so much. Again, it's like a business mindset. I've trained myself to be comfortable with uncomfortable. In fact, when I'm comfortable and everything is smooth sailing, I'm always looking, what's wrong? Something is coming.
Yeah.
You know, but when something is wrong, I like it because it's where you feel alive fighting.
Yeah. Now, you are also a leader today, right? You manage so many agents and you wear so many different hats as the founder of the Preeminent Group, as, ERA as well. What qualities do you look out for? Like, for example, what qualities do you think a leader needs?
You have to be influential. You have to be able to influence people to follow you. I always try to be myself and be as authentic as I can. So even when I speak very authentic. Yeah, I don't really care how people like or dislike what I say. But I say it because it's the truth. Sometimes my agents say, yeah, boss, you always say the same thing. I say, yeah, because it's the truth. It's the truth. That's why I keep saying it. Yeah. So I think to be a good leader today, you have to be authentic, you have to be influential, and you must be a high risk taker. And I choose to believe over the last 16 years or so as a leader running teams, I think I've always been ahead of the market, spearheading things, not only for myself or ERA, even changing the game of the industry.
Which brings me to the next question, right? Obviously, over the last 22 years, you've honed your sales strategy to a T, I'm sure, right? So for those inspiring like viewers who, or the younger generation who may want to enter this industry or any business landscape, for example, what is your like sales approach and what do you always keep in mind? Like one thing you keep in mind in business and in sales and for achieving success, in this field, maybe particularly to real estate?
I think is to train yourself that you're able to give consultative sales options, new idea, tell the client that they are not thinking right, versus just be a order taker and do what you were asked to do. Sometimes clients like people who dare to speak up, but then again, a lot of agents don't dare to speak up because they always just want to satisfy the client's needs. But I think the industry needs agents who are more vocal, who are able to give different ideas for their property.
And how do you effectively manage, to stay competitive? I mean, it's the pressure of constantly having to perform at such a high level with so many agents.
So you have to be very fast in your reaction to what's trendy in the business. Like no one does boot camps last time. So we're among the first few who spearheaded a boot camp. And I started it. And for the last 5-6 years, I think I've done almost 850 hours of bootcamp.
Wow.
And that is my dedication to my people in ERA as their CAO.
For you personally, how do you handle that pressure of having to ensure that everyone's performing, and for yourself as well? Because you mentioned earlier that you always want to push the boundaries and be the early adopters, right? And because when you're an early adopter, people are watching you. People are saying, "Oh, what's Kevin doing? How is he doing this?"
I think I'm okay. I'm not really very stressed over it. Probably because I always think that I'm living in the future.
How do you mean?
You see, like right now, Preeminent Group, it's at 4,000 agents. But when I plan things and I work things, I imagine I'm working for 6,000. So same thing for business. If you talk about revenue, so Preeminent Group is at 200 million revenue. So I go to a 300 million mindset to solve my 200 million revenue problem, and not my 100 million to solve the 200 million. So we are very good at imagination.
Right.
So we need to have this adoption, this decision to make this little imaginative thing. You will see things clearly and in advance, and you can have more ideas and more invention. And that's how I stay ahead of the curve, by just living in the future.
Right. I think that's amazing advice, because and I think for a lot of the younger generation as well.
I mean, most people to me are 1:1. That means you're 30 years old, you are 30 years old mindset. You are 100 agents, you use 100 agents way to run. They don't overdo it.
That's right.
So if you got 100 agents, you got to use 500 agents mindset. Spend 500 agents kind of money.
That's right, yeah.
500 agents kind of passion. Then you make space. When you make space, things will come.
Right.
So I'm always a believer of creating space first. That mental space, that desire. It's critical to me.
Having said that, right, you say it's all about the mindset, and I think it's very, very useful advice, I think, for a lot of the viewers out there, and I'm sure for your agents as well. But if you were to pinpoint your ecosystem, like you mentioned earlier, I thought it was very powerful that it sometimes we don't realize it, right? Like our parents and the people around us are actually not millionaires. Then how do we nurture that millionaire mindset? But now in the industry, I'm sure you've been surrounded by lots of millionaires and billionaires. If I were to ask you, right, what is that one thing, one lesson that you've learned from them?
I mean, my parents for sure are not rich, as in money rich, but they love me. But money-wise, I think I don't really learn much from them. Of course, when I was 18, 19 years old, my poly days and then subsequent army, I think I changed a lot of my mindset by reading a lot of books. First book that changed my mind was Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Ah, yes. Blew your mind, did it?
I tell you, in my 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, I read more books than my whole life before. And then when I joined real estate in 22, I spent a lot of money on education, on seminars. Any gurus, I tell me, I have all been before. Walk fire, eat fire, everything. I've paid tens of thousands of dollars to attend these courses. And that's where I feel a lot of people only know how to spend money on neck up or down. But, it's about spending money on
in your mind.
On your mind. Yeah.
What is the biggest sacrifice you feel you've made in the last 22 years?
I think, of course, I sacrificed a lot of my own emotions.
How so?
Like even I'm scared I have to pretend
I'm
not. Even if I feel down, I have to be positive. Sometimes can be quite screwed up to your mental health.
Tiring, yeah.
But I think, like I say, I'm born with a strong mindset. I always think I have that mindset. And second thing, probably I start my family late. I got married at 35 and I became a dad at 37. My kids are like primary 1 now, I'm 44. I'm not like my friends who started their family early. Today, their kids are like
teenagers,
17, 18 years old, But I don't also feel it's a sacrifice. It's just what it's meant to be for me. I mean, doing well in real estate not just changed my life. It changed my wife's life, my children's life, my parents' life, So I think I'm happy with what I've achieved.
Right. How do you then define success today? Now that you've achieved all this, what does success mean to you?
I'm very on social media and all that. And I do a lot of podcasts with people, collaboration with different influencers. Only like really these few years when I went a bit outrageous on all this. Anywhere I go often, I've got strangers, I've got young kids, I've got adults, I've got people coming up to me. Are you Kevin? That thing you say, that thing you did on social media impacted me and, changed my situation. Well, that's part I feel, wow. That day was so funny. I'm a Formula One fan. So every Formula One I'm on.
So you had weekend?
Yeah, I was 3 days there. I was with Casa Ferrari. On Saturday, I was walking the track. That's where Carlos Sainz crashed into the barrel. There were like so much security at the barrel to let people know. Then out of the security, the FIA security, these two gentlemen, are you Mr. Kevin Lim? It's like, hey, what? We follow your social media and you inspire us, you given us. It's like I'm very happy I'm very happy that I've impacted people. Yeah, the day I went to eat wanton mee, the hawker cooking wanton mee. hey, you the TikTok guy.
Yeah, so you get recognized, and that's happy.
No, it's not about just getting recognized, not
The
the fame.
impact that you
It's the
make.
thing they say that they have benefited. Like to me, it's, really got people believe in me.
Oh, now what do you think about the concept, right? I don't know. Maybe I think you would know. So people always say, "Oh, we have to fake it till we make it."
Fake it till make it is exactly what I mentioned just now. Living in the future. Am I 6,000 agent now? No, but I believe I'm 6,000 agents. Are you a millionaire yet? Believe you are. Behave like a millionaire. Soon you will be. I don't like that word, but I rather put it called time travel.
Time travel.
I'm a time traveler.
You live in the future. Now, what is a common mistake do you think, maybe within the real estate industry or in general, right? People who want to be successful.
Common mistake.
Yeah. And how do you think they...
come in, take it as a job. Look for the best manager. Look for the best company. Everything must be the best. You forgot you must be the best. You're not the best. Everything else best. No use one. You are in a business. You have to make decision. Don't always ask what to do next. That's in employment. Your boss will give you work. You don't even have a boss here.
Proactiveness.
It's the mindset. It's the mindset of survivorship. You don't need to know everything. They always think they need to know everything before they can fight the war. Before they can go on to the battlefield. Sorry. Sales is about reading the book and fighting at the same time.
Yeah, I think any business or any job is like that as well, right? Now, and what advice would you give people who are looking to come into the industry, the next generation?
You must have that ability and that willingness to walk in the dark. Stop wanting to learn things. Start doing things.
Yeah. You learn by doing.
New agents, every day, what can I learn? What can I learn? What can I learn? It doesn't work this way. Yeah, I know why they want to do that. They don't want to look stupid in front of their clients. But you will look stupid one day. So be it. I think it's all about making the right decisions. But where do right decisions come from?
By doing.
Experience.
Yeah.
And where the experience come from? Bad decisions.
Yeah.
So that part about walking in the dark is very scary for most people. They want absolute clarity. In their mind, it's like, hey, I'm from Singapore, I'm going KL, driving to KL. On headlight, I see KL. That's what they expect in their world.
Yeah.
You on headlight, you only see that few meters ahead.
Yeah.
Every meter you drive, you see some more. And eventually you see KL. Right. That's the real life. But in their life, their car like that one. On headlight, see KL.
It's a straight road. Yeah. Straight road to success.
No, must see already.
Yeah.
So they cannot take uncertainty. So, people who join us are fresh grads. Their issues are always a little bit more pampered. Maybe they are in that era. They are a little bit more impatient in a bad way. They can work as a real estate agent 3 months. Hey, boss, I cannot find my direction in, I cannot find my fulfillment in this business. So you're a bit too impatient.
Now, if you were to give advice for that different age groups, like 20s, 30s, what would your advice be like? What would you have done different? Because it's a very different
Well,
world
because
today.
I started 22, people might not have the opportunity to start so young. But then people who are starting at 22, my advice to them is stop thinking you're young. You're in a very dangerous position. Every day, from morning to night, people are always telling you, it's okay, you're young. It's okay, you're young. You are not young. And people starting in their 30s, they will always work-life balance, spend more time with your family. Work and life never balance lah. Get real lah. Then people in the 40s are always, I'm too late. That's why people very funny one. They sit the boat, sit in front, they scared water. Sit behind, they scared ghosts. Sit in the middle, they say boring, no view. Hey, what you want? So to me, there's no 44-year-old me. There's no 30-year-old you. There's only the 2024 you.
Yes.
So 2024, now you know social media is a great place for influence. Use it wisely. I mean, a lot of people have social media.
But do they actually use
They
it?
don't use it to post, to create business. They only use it to read and waste their time.
Is that something like a must for all your agents? Like, do you strongly encourage all of them to do it?
You have to be very comfortable speaking to people on the mic, podcast, Reels, Instagram, TikTok.
Anything.
You must train yourself to be good and like it. But you have to learn and make a decision make a
To be
decision
comfortable.
to like it. To be true, I don't really care what I like.
You just do it.
I do what is right. I don't do what I like. Everyone I see is about what they like. Hey, who cares what you like?
True.
Okay, I'm very hard on myself
Yeah.
on this kind of thing. Really, I do what is right. Why do I do what I like? I mean, if what I like is correct, good.
But if what you like
If what I like is wrong, how?
Yeah.
So a lot of things that I'm doing now, I can tell you, I don't like.
But you have to do it.
Kevin, wow, you're such a micro-influencer leh. Wow. I don't like. Actually, I don't like to sit here talking to you. Not that I don't like you, but I don't like sit here talking to you, recording all this, going out. But I do it because it's right. It's right. It's
Absolutely.
the mission that I want,
Yeah.
But personality-wise,
It's not you.
I don't like the lights. But for my vision and my mission, that's why, you see, when the task, task, is bigger than yourself, you will be successful. What's your task? The task is to do 30 episodes of podcasts. The task is to go out there, create content. But, I don't like content. So which one is bigger? Task is bigger. Do it anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's all these things that is important.
Lastly, thank you so much. I mean, we have almost come to the end. But what
Okay.
valuable insights and impact, what impact do you hope to make within the industry? Like now, after 22 years being in the industry, right? What changes do you hope to see, or what impact do you hope to leave?
I love to see more collaboration between different companies and not keep having this competitive mindset. I hope all leaders of the industry can have a more open mind. There's no secret. The more you share, the better it is for the industry, which then us.
Yeah, it's very important. Like whatever you shared today is so valuable for everyone. Everyone here, people who will be watching this, and
So I hope people can pick up 1 or 2 tips from this podcast.
More than 1 or 2 tips.
And I think I'm more than happy to if anyone have any questions, can always DM me. But what I want to do is really, whether you're from wherever industry or even as an employee, I hope this latest sharing can impact people.
Yeah. Right. Thank you so much, Kevin. I think thank you for being here. We really appreciate it in your busy schedule. And thank you everyone for watching, and to our listeners who are tuning into this episode. If you would like to leave a comment and share this video, please do that as well. And remember, for every conversation, there's a different perspective that you can look out for in all our episodes, right? Thank you so much.